Well, Nancy, as Donald Trump and Paul Ryan work to move past what many saw as a chilly relationship, what details do we know about their shared priority of repealing Obamacare?
Well, they both say it's their number one priority. Republicans obviously have been trying fruitlessly for 6 years now to repeal the Affordable Care Act, and Donald Trump talked about it constantly on the campaign trail. So it definitely is an area of common ground, and it's definitely something that Republican voters are going to be expecting from them because they've been making these promises forever and haven't been able to make good on them. And so Republicans here on Capitol Hill tell me it will probably be one of the first things that they try to do starting in January. And typically, to do something of that magnitude, it would take 60 votes. But here in the Senate, there is a process called reconciliation that only requires a 50-vote threshold. It's a budget process. It was actually used to pass the Affordable Care Act in the first place. It's a little bit messier than going the traditional route, but I'm told that Republicans could, by and large, rip this law out at the roots, going with that process.
Where would that leave Democrats? Would they have any avenues to pursue?
Not if Republicans use this reconciliation process, because while Democrats did pick up a few seats in this week's elections, they don't have the magic 50 or 51 seats they need to block reconciliation. And so when you've got Republicans controlling the House, the Senate, and the White House, that really gives Democrats, they've got a bully pulpit. They can go and speak and shout and try to rally their supporters. But, when it comes to the legislative process, their avenues are slim.
Well, Nancy, as you noted, during his campaign, Donald Trump made costly promises like building a wall along the U.S.-Mexico border and boosting military spending. Those things are at odds with the fiscal conservatism that House Republicans have enforced. How would you bridge those gaps?
It's really hard to see how you bridge those gaps, Elaine, because he has not said how he would pay for this big infrastructure bill that he says he's interested. I mean, Hillary Clinton also wanted to pass a big infrastructure plan, but she also at the same time suggested how she would pay for it. Notably, the president-elect didn't ever say how he would pay for that or many other proposals. He wants big tax cuts. He hasn't said where the money for those would come from. He also says he wants to build this wall and that Mexico will pay for it. Well, Mexico says it's not going to pay for it. So where does that money come from? And you go on and on. Democrats argue that this is not unique to Donald Trump, that Republicans historically have talked a big game about the debt, but then when they are in office, they run up the debt by increasing the size of the military, et cetera, without looking for ways to save that money.
All right, Nancy Cortez. Nancy, thank you.
You got it.